Okay, so this is a video about how to fix an issue when uploading a WordPress file to a new WordPress site hosted on Bluehost. Here I have the old site. Inside of this, I'm going to export to a file, and what that does is it downloads a .wpress file. My site was about 415 megabytes. I guess they range in all different sizes. So what would happen is then I would go into the new site, and I encountered two issues, but primarily one. So inside of this, there is the option to import it. I would do that, and it would upload, and it would get stuck at 100% when it was done uploading. It wouldn't continue through it. What I ended up figuring out this was a timeout error on the WordPress hosting side. I had to go through a bunch of troubleshooting steps on different computers, different networks, running WordPress locally, and all these different things. But inside of here, if we go to the Bluehost site and we go to our cPanel, the setting that needs to be changed that I ended up discovering was down in this multi-php.ini editor. And inside of that, I just went into all the directories. I think you could probably just change it for the one. This is my domain for the test site that I'm using. These two numbers, the max execution time and the max input time, default to 60 seconds. This number's in seconds. So what I did was I changed those to 1,000. And I did that for all three of these. So I did that for the site I'm using, this other site that's, I guess, default on here. It's my base URL. And then the home directory also. And I saved it. I also believe in here, this is where you can change the upload file size limit. All-in-one WP transfer tool. You can pay $99 for them to get the premium version, and apparently what that does, or all it does, is just upload it in smaller chunks. But if you increase this limit, you can also do that. So then either way, in here, what that does is inside the file manager for each of your sites, it adds this php.ini file. And what we can do in here is we can see all these different things that we set. So we're giving it 1,000 on the execution, the input time. The variables was already set at 1,000, and then we have our memory limits also. So that makes it possible to upload it. When you go in and do the upload, after that, it'll work. I spent way too much time. I talked to the all-in-one WP migration team, and they had originally suggested that it might be this, but then it was very hard to figure out. And the same thing with the Bluehost team. They didn't seem to be aware of this issue. So that's how you do that. The other way to, or how to tell that you're having this issue, is this is the error that I was getting. So what would happen is when I go in here, I was uploading it, and then when it failed and got stuck at 100%, I hit inspect. And inside there's this console tab. So what this will do is show you these errors that come up. And so this is what they look like when you have them on there, which is indicative that you are having an issue. And when that happens, then that's when you need to go through these steps, increase that max execution time, and then it should work. Hopefully this saves you guys some time versus the immense amount of time that took me to figure this out. I probably spent, I don't know, at least 12 hours on this, 10, 12, 15 hours. I don't know. It was a long time. It was over 2 days. The other one here is that when you install WordPress locally, when I used the tool, and I'm blanking on the name of it. Let me look it up here. Applications. It was called MAMP. I ran WordPress locally with that. The default size was 8 megabytes. The same thing with that. There's some better documentation in there about how to change online about how to change this, but you have to go in and essentially just update those max file size values up to whatever file size you want. So, yep, that's a summary of what happened here and how to fix it in the future. I hope you guys find this useful.